And we're live. This is the check-in show. I am Paul Ash. I'm here with Claudio Capri, AJ Young, and Mike Gamache. And talking about here, there's where we are. So we're just checking in with each other, making sure everybody is okay in this time of
changing things.
yeah.
Everything's changing.
In the current end of days.
Yes. End of days 2.0.
The director's cut.
Oh, did you say Ridley Scott directed?
Exactly. Because I've seen the House of Gucci. And I wish I did not see that.
Yeah.
The
Well,
the House of Gucci with Lady Gaga and Al Pacino.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. Well, it could always be worse.
Mm-hmm.
End of Days could be directed by Tommy Wiseau.
You know what? I've always, you know what? I want to work with Tommy Wiseau and Uwe. I want to work with and Michael Bay. I want to work with these three main people. These are the three people I want to work with and say I've worked with these people.
Get yourself in a Neil Breen movie.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
No. I'd rather do pornography than. Well, I mean, I was on a.
Okay,
on a
if you ever do pornography, Claudio, please warn me.
I did.
I will do my best to avoid it.
I did the pornography. Oh no, okay, no, I was not in it. I was on set.
Yeah, you did a walkthrough.
Which
he was the actual pizza delivery guy.
Yeah. Not only that, I got bumped to cameraman. That's how sad it was. Like, oh yeah, we need a cameraman. They look at me. I'm like,
oh, I'd be careful. Cameraman splash zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the pay is good though. The pay is good.
Yeah, because of that.
You know what?
It's danger pay. It's danger
exactly.
pay.
You go in, you don't know what you're expecting. You walk out, you get more than pay.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you know how they referred to those slasher movies, those horror as splatter fests. Yeah, splatter films. Yeah, those are the true splatter films are not those.
Well, this is great Wednesday morning conversation.
We're off to a flying start. Yes, we are.
If I could start every day with a thorough discussion of pornography, I would.
Oh my God. Welcome, folks, to the 50th episode, our golden anniversary.
Yeah, this is episode 50 of the check-in show. We actually have viewers right now. I want to say hi. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, yes.
We're just making sure everybody is okay. If you want to tell us how you're doing, where you're watching from, that is great too. Give us a like because that really does help for some strange reason.
Yes.
And
we appreciate it.
They're also free to give.
Yes, they are.
I've got all right. I did a photo shoot that I refer to as my my German porn film.
Okay.
It was well. The thing is, it was for Germany,
right?
And it was a sort of a juxtaposition. And it was me and a heavily oiled, muscular man in like a gym locker room. That was the shoot. Faces were not shown, and it was just sort of like the before and after for some gym.
Okay. All right.
Now
we'll take your word for it, Paul. But I won't go looking for it.
I mean, we can't. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. It's 2022. No one's gonna judge.
Oh, I'll be judging.
That was one of the last things I did before becoming a union member. So it was.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a buyout forever and all that stuff.
Right.
The only time I've ever come close to like filming is I visited a friend in Toronto and she had a day doing extra work and she's like, I'm just gonna wedge you on in. And I don't know what she did, just like filled out like fake paperwork. And I ended up like standing on the side of like a Toronto street while like a fake gay pride parade went by. And then halfway through the day, they cut for break and they were like, all right, everyone take a break. I left and never, ever, ever took any acting job ever again. I hate it. I don't want to
Okay.
stand around for 13 hours a day. It is so awful. I
What
have
was
so
the
much
weather
respect
like?
for actors and extras doing it. Oh, it was a pretty nice Toronto day. It wasn't even overcast. It was just I had never done any production. I was like maybe like 16 at the time. And like I was doing extra work. So like just standing there, the two people beside me were like extras who have done this 100 times. So they were just insufferable people. And so by the halfway point of the day, I was like, I slipped into the background and disappeared. And the camera panned behind me. So I assumed that messed their entire shoot up.
Oh
You'd be
my.
surprised.
I hope I
In,
didn't actually mess it up.
What is it called? The X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of what they called the running team. There's 4 of us.
Right.
The next oldest person was like 26 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 50. And we had to boogie across. And if you've seen the film, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've seen it.
Okay.
But there's the scene where Magneto's going into the embassy, and there's the big fight on the double-decker bus and all that. And Nightcrawler and Cyclops teleport in to shoot at him, and he puts the doors up. That's what we were running in.
Right.
And I recognize myself in that only because I know the shape of my head. Because we're just a shadow.
You're just a blur.
We spent 2 months filming it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Man, that film was horrendous.
I
I'm not
and
gonna
I
lie.
injured myself on that as
Oh
well.
my Lord. Oh
Because
my
it was
God.
all done in a sound studio because they had to come back, redo it. Because I mean they're teleporting people in and out, so there's like they
Right.
had
So
to
it's
reshoot
CGI and
match
yeah. Right.
all this stuff. And I ripped a muscle in my thigh
Oh my.
because I didn't warm up before we started with the sprints one
Running.
morning.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was it.
So how many times did you have to do the run?
Well, the thing is, there was all the stuff around that scene, like all the continuity around that scene too.
Right.
But I did the run. I would hazard a guess we probably did it about 25 to 30 times.
Okay, my brain was going like, don't say like 300. Don't say like 300.
No.
Don't say 300.
But the thing is, because I injured myself
Yeah.
and ended
It felt
up
like 300.
going to the hospital,
Yeah.
they took me off the running team and replaced me with somebody.
But you're still in the cut.
I'm still in the cut. Yeah.
Hey.
That's awesome.
That's all.
That's because we run by so quick, right?
Right.
It's,
The thing is though, like with the 2 month shoot, the one thing that I didn't experience with doing extra work because I just faded into the background was I never saw what that paycheck would have looked like for doing it. I ended up leaving Toronto like a day later. I don't have a clue. They're like a 10-year-old paycheck just floating in the atmosphere somewhere. But like I bet that paycheck probably looked really, really sweet. But like
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's well, the thing is, it's non-union extras are like minimum wage.
Yeah.
Okay, good. In that case, I made the right choice in just
Yeah. In other words, you did not affect their profit margin.
in that case, I did not affect the TV show. I think the show it was Being Erica, which was like a big show like 10 years ago.
Oh my God. Yes. I remember
Yeah.
that.
I was
years ago.
Yeah, I was in like the background of one scene. Probably not, considering I left halfway through the day. But I've tried one time. I remember seeing like, Being Erica on Netflix like 2 years ago, and I was like, I wonder if I can just find in the descriptions like the gay pride episode, and I
Right.
couldn't. So I was like, well, I'm not watching like 7 seasons of this show to find if I'm still in the cut. That's not happening.
Oh yeah, that would be needle in the haystack type of thing for sure.
I do want to point out it got an early pickup. Ghost has season 2.
Oh, nice.
So they had the budget increased for the rest of this season, and season 2 has been picked up.
Yep.
Okay.
So did Transplant. It got picked up for another season too.
Nice. So these are 2 local productions that are, well, I mean, Transplants National in Canada. I don't know if is it in the States? But Ghost is an American production. It's a CBS.
Yeah. No, Transplant is a Canadian production, but some American television companies also got the rights to it. So I believe it's ABC it's ABC or the other one, NBC. Yeah, because ABC and NBC, right? So I think NBC got it as well, and then somewhere in the States, it's also available on Peacock, which is just like an
that would
American...
be NBC's. Yeah, that's NBC affiliate.
Yeah,
NBC streaming. Yeah.
Okay, so because I know because an actress, she was on Transplant and Ghost. She was telling me that the Transplant is also available there. I'm not sure about Ghost if it's also available in the States. That I don't know.
It's on CBS. It's
okay. So it is okay.
Yeah, it's a major network.
Yeah. That one I do know. Yeah.
So
that's good.
Mark Hamill just tweeted that he's excited that it got a second season.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I'm following Mark Hamill on Twitter, and
Hamill himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's excited.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that Mark Hamill signs his name with a camel emoji. That always kills me.
Yeah.
He writes Mark Hamill.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Have you seen Mark? Because I just came across them now. Like Mark Hamill's interview for the second Star Wars film that came out and then like you just see Mark Hamill's face like, oh God, I don't want to be here. Why are we talking about this?
There was a figure skater back in the day named Hamill, Dorothy Hamill,
Yeah,
and she did the Hamill Camel, which was a figure skating move. So if he could write Dorothy Hamill Camel.
And on that note, folks, I am to the action.
At least we've not mentioned toes, but we have at least one thumbs up prior to Mike Gamache speaking.
We got to get them in under the line.
I know. Well,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So how do you all feel with things opening back up?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope that people don't take this as a signal to just throw everything out the window and just throw caution to the winds. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that even when traditional flu season, usually it starts to wind down in February, March, right? Because it's a seasonal thing. And last year we also had a thing where there was a big, huge spike around Christmas time, and it sort of faded into spring. So, February is a week away. February is a short month. So, we're looking March, April. I'm cautiously optimistic.
I think I don't mean this in like a doomer sense or being really jaded about it. I just think that we're getting to a point where COVID is going to be the word for the most dangerous version of the flu. But essentially, as we get to more vaccinations and as we get to that limit, it's just going to become the new word for the flu. And it's going to be, once we're all vaccinated, it's going to be basically like the flu. It's dangerous to some people. You got to be careful about it. Take care of yourself when you get it. Yeah. But all the people who at first were like, it's just like the flu. Okay, well, it took 3 years and mass vaccinations, but yes. Now it's just
it's starting to become like the flu.
Yeah. There was almost 8,000 new cases in Quebec.
So the cases are still going, but I think they're mild
it's
now.
Dropping.
It's dropping.
Yeah.
The cases seem to be
close
mild.
to. We had
over 10,000.
15,000 on January 7th.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Almost 16,000 on January 7th. So.
Well, many places in the States where they had humongous spikes are also starting to taper off. So
and a lot of those people who the spikes will happen, but when you look at the people that are getting the spikes, a lot of them are coming out pretty okay, just getting nasally, especially because they're fully vaxxed and boosted. So again, it's just cycling back into another
arm of the flu. 90% of the ICU wards are unvaccinated.
Yes. Those are still
there you go.
That's what I was going to mention.
Unvaxxed. That's still a major problem.
That's when
and you're not and from from what I can see, from what I've gleaned from the past couple of weeks of reporting and things I've read, things I've seen on television or on the media, the people who aren't vaccinated, you're not gonna reach them. It's like a lost cause. I've sort of like, well, it sucks to be you, I guess. You know, I've sort of thrown up my hands and go, well, this is how it's going to be, and that's it.
Yeah, like for the most part, I don't want anyone to like get hurt or die of this
No,
thing.
of course
not. At this
not.
point, it's fully preventable. We have vaccines and cures for it, and like you said, like we said beforehand, like if people are going to eat unhealthy and eat bad things, but then turn to a vaccine and go like, I'm not putting that in my body. It's like, okay, well, man,
True.
like, okay, planet Earth is a big free open space. Do what you're gonna do. I'm boosted. Well, I got to get my appointment for the boosted, but like I'm for vaccination. I'm all about it. So like, if someone else doesn't want to get vaccinated, cool, man. Like you live your life, but like I don't want to hear your reasons why you're not doing it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't care.
And I also don't want to hear. I also don't want to hear if you wind up in the hospital and like,
like,
oh my God,
like,
it's horrible. I got it, and it's terrible. It's like, well, you know, you sort of went out of your way to get it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know, I'm like all of you, and then I'm like, listen, you know what? I want to know why you're not vaccinated, and then I'll make fun of you. But I'll support your ideas. I'll be like, well,
no, we really shouldn't make fun of them. Some of these people just
they bought into a con. You
can't fault somebody for being foolish. You can fault somebody for being willingly foolish,
exactly.
But you can't fault somebody who just doesn't know better from believing what they write, you know.
And vaccine hesitancy in like certain communities, distrusting the government for injecting you with random things. I fully understand that. The government they're not the first person that I would run to defend or be like, yeah, of course, let them inject you with whatever. That's obviously great. But it's at some point you have to recognize that like they want to keep the economy flowing. They want people around to make money. So like they're not going to poison us all.
No, I mean, it would be counterproductive for them to completely like fuck everybody over, because let's face it, the government is people. We are the people, and we are the government, because you know they need us to keep, like you said, the economy going, to keep things, just society generally, you know, moving forward and doing things. But it would be really, you know, these conspiracy theory people, it's like you really don't have much to do in life if you base your life on these wild, crazy. Some of the stuff I've heard lately about different conspiracies, it's like, really, you actually truly buy into this shit?
I will, you know, Mike. I enjoy conspiracy theorists because I like what older age men in their underwears in their basement have to say about theories, and I find them fascinating because I'm like, man, these people have nothing better to do with their lives. This is entertaining.
I agree with Claudio that for like many years I was a big fan of conspiracy theories. I liked following like all the little niches and like learning about what all their little sections thought, and of course getting out of the niches that you eventually learned, like, oh, this is just like anti-Semitism dressed up as
or blatant racism or homophobia or you name it, whatever flavor they like to, you know, white supremacy. It's like, fuck.
And as a fan of conspiracies, it's been kind of crappy the last 3 years, because it's like, oh, I used to like all these little niches, but now this one conspiracy is like all of them. We're all the conspiracies. They're all happening at once. And you're like, hey, well, they're not fun anymore, because one person believes in some crazy angels are going to come and visit the planet, and one person believes in
we're gonna angels visiting the planet.
And now they're
angels are coming. Claudio,
and now
gird your loins.
And now the conspiracy is like lizard angels planned for Donald Trump.
Yes,
and you're like, what is happening?
All the conspiracies have morphed into this giant flaming sharknado of conspiracies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Also, the demons will rise.
Yes.
Just
well, the demons will have to rise. They have to fight the angels.
And then
you have to have the yin and the yang.
yeah.
Oh, talking about like conspiracies and protests and such. The trucker convoy.
Oh yeah, those yeah. There's a lot of people in that whole thing, what's been put together. There's a lot of people in there who have, who are truckers, who actually have, I wouldn't say a legit concern, but they do have concerns, and they are right in bringing their concerns forward. But then they have all these people who have joined them, who are absolute batshit crazies, and they're taking over the whole thing, and now it's turning into.
There's a. Oh no, sorry, Paul. Go ahead. You want to say something? I was.
Well, the thing is, the GoFundMe has been frozen.
Yeah.
$4.5 million.
Yeah.
Until they can show a method of distribution of the funds, of like a plan.
Yeah, because that's just all going to go to one person if they're not careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also going to go to places where they don't want necessarily to send the funds.
Yeah,
they don't,
exactly. They can go to me.
Someone has grifted that. GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Damn it, man!
Now,
I was trying to become a scammer. It doesn't work. Fuck. I'm kidding.
Made a GoFundMe for the truckers.
Yeah.
And everything.
You want to know how to become a scammer, Claudio? Send me $1. I'll tell you.
I'll send you 99 cents.
That's my favorite thing. It's like, yo,
haggle with the scammers.
If you want to learn how to become rich, give me money. I will teach you how to become rich.
I will teach you. Yeah, you
get money that makes me rich.
You get a piece of paper. You get a piece of paper back from the guy saying, "Get somebody to send you $1."
Now, I'm trying to find out where the claims are coming from, but it's. Apparently the white nationalists are hooked up with the trucker.
All right.
Convoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm kidding. I sound like I was really excited, but I'm not. I just find this. I just find those white nationalists disgusting people. But I'm like, I have to. I'm trying to find the funny in things. That's why
the Proud Boys and the white nationalists and the anti-Semites and you name it.
I can't find a viable source.
No, because
with just a quick search this morning.
Exactly.
But,
you can't find them because
that's the other thing. Yeah, essentially. And this is I've been thinking about writing a piece on this because I think this is underhanded as all hell. But a lot of people, they're part of the alt-right pipeline. They don't necessarily come out saying, I believe in any of these things. But by infusing a certain type of negativity into their commentary and by specifically targeting and framing an idea, you immediately put an idea in people's heads. And now you can just back up and say, all I said was...
All I did was ask a question.
I asked the question.
The Jordan Peterson defense. I'm just asking questions.
Jordan Peterson. What? Oh God.
Yeah. But this is how you get an
I apologized on somebody's post because they were talking. They had something Jordan Peterson. I said on behalf of all of Canada, I apologize for Jordan Peterson.
Well, whenever a big Canadian becomes popular in American press, I'm literally like,
please don't. Yeah,
I saw a streamer and I had to laugh. He said he found out that another one of those alt-right figures was Canadian, and he was like, no, when Canada sends its people, it's not sending its best. And I'm like, I mean, I don't disagree, but damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. Well, the founder of the Proud Boys, which the Americans have taken and run with, founder of the Proud Boys is a
Biff Tech.
Yeah.
He's a Proud Boy right now.
Steven Crowder is a Canadian that does all American news, and you're just sitting there hey Steven, you have free healthcare, my guy. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true, huh? Yeah. But anyways,
I do have to being a teenager in the 80s.
Yeah.
I have to mention seeing John Roberts.
Oh, good Lord, yes.
Because he was J.D. Roberts on Much Music.
He was Much Music video jockey J.D. Roberts. And then you see him on the alt-right shit, and it's like, what fucking happened to you, buddy?
It's funny that we're talking about these trucker stuff, right? So there's one video on TikTok that I love. and in a comedic way, there's a guy like he says it's from Alberta. I'm like, yeah, right. He goes, well, today we're out, we're on our route to Trudeau to lift these mandates. He's driving, he's holding his camera, he lowers the window and he's honking. He goes, fuck you, Trudeau, fuck you. I'm like, oh my god, this is gold. And people, the comments are like, you're my hero. This, and then I'm like, I'm just here, and I put those stars that you put on. I'm like, no, eating popcorn. I'm just here for the free.
For the
laughs.
comments, yeah.
But man, I got so much hate. Like, while you're not for the truckers, I'm like, listen. I told them you could, protest whatever you want. Go ahead, but if you're gonna put these kind of things online that are not, if it's not comedic purpose, don't put them, because someone's going to be like, oh, trucker protests, and they see these kind of videos, they're like, okay, we're not going to take this seriously.
A family friend posted a picture. I took her entire friend base to task because they support the truckers, and I was like, how is stopping a supply line helping anybody? And she was like, they're doing it for the mandates. And I'm like, okay, cool, but you realize that the truckers are the ones stopping everything from getting here. So you can be like, you can be for them, but you recognize that like all those impacts you're gonna feel next week. That's what that is. And then she posted a picture of like I assume Canadian military, but knowing the research these people do, it might have been the German army heading off to World War II. Posting pictures of. Yes, and then it's like a picture of like a family saying bye to a truck driver, and then like the image is essentially same thing. And you're like, we're going to war, World War
and driving a truck.
Driving a truck in a protest. Same thing.
20,000 truckers in this protest. I didn't know there was 20,000 truckers in Canada. We really need to improve our rail service.
Yes, I think so.
And
that's our rail service was been shut down across the country in favor of oil, in favor of. All right, I'm going off on a conspiracy tangent, but like Halifax got punished by the federal government years ago. Like there was a new tax being brought in on a ship tonnage coming into Halifax Harbor, which is the second deepest harbor in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The only thing deeper is Sydney Harbor in Australia.
Yeah.
And the Port Authority asked, well, what is this tax for? And they were told, it's to pay for ice breaking. Now, Halifax is the northernmost naturally ice-free harbor in Canada. And they said, well, we don't need ice breaking. Why are we doing it? Oh, it's to keep the port of Montreal open. So this was their competitors, right? So
lovely.
So they said no, because they just built a new big container receiving place. And the city backed them up, the province backed them up, so the federal government backed down.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, the federal government ripped up most of the train tracks between Montreal and Halifax.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And they destroyed they at the time too, the Quebec provincial government was refusing to fix the highways between Quebec City and the New Brunswick border.
Yeah.
So it was just like a 2-lane street for a long time. It's been fixed now. The federal government did go and pay for it, but that's just benefiting the truckers.
Yeah.
The railway, it used to take, I think, 16 hours to go from Halifax to Montreal by train.
By train, yeah.
Yeah,
it's now
29 and a half
hours.
hours. Yeah, 16 and a half hours.
It's now 19 hours.
Yeah.
Or 29 hours. Sorry. Because they have to pull over to let other trains pass. They have to go off onto a side shunt.
Yeah.
Where it used to be twinned, and they used to, run both ways constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the even back like post World War II, when I think it was GM and Ford teamed up to get cities to rip up their tramways.
Yeah.
Right. Even
so
Montreal,
they could sell more cars.
Tramways.
Yep.
So we could have buses. You'll have buses.
And cars.
It's better.
And more cars too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that
like
sounds.
50 years later, we're like, damn, those tram lines were super useful.
Yeah. it is mind-boggling to me because someone did a post. It's like, so people want to. It shows how ignorant Canada could be because they want to lift these these COVID mandates, but no one's fighting for, like, no one is fighting for the native rights. It's sad how everyone's getting together for this thing, but no one's getting together for the native
Yeah,
rights.
nobody's talking. Everyone's like trucker stops and mandates, and it's like, what about the like thousands of indigenous bodies we're at now?
Exactly.
Yes,
What about the
exactly.
thousands of children that like? What about the missing women that were still ignored? Like, every time somebody comes out being like, "This government is making mandates. What a bad government!" I'm like, "Oh, you're just cluing in. You're just getting the
just
memo."
now getting it.
Just now. What about
So
the native women and stuff?
The Canadian government did just hand over all the documents to what was basically to a native group to investigate, so they can go through and comb through everything.
That's gonna suck for Canada. I can't wait.
And they did it against the church's wishes.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I don't care about the church's wishes. The
Me
church's
neither.
wishes don't do anything.
Me neither. They don't. Like last time I went to a church, it was for my father's. Celebrate
Service?
my father. My father's service. I didn't get up when it was time to take that holy bread, and the priest in front of everyone goes, "Do you want to take it?" And I'm like, "No, sorry." He goes, "Are you sure you want to take it?" I'm like, "Yeah." Because he didn't get up when everyone did. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I'm bawling my eyes out. I have to, I'm sorry. And then he goes, "Well, you're not gonna take it." I'm like, "Well, you know what? I'm sure you're gonna go to hell for all the children you've touched." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, you're calling me out. You're calling me out loud.
Hey
I'm sorry.
man, you've got like a 90% chance you hit the nail on the head. Honestly, not to go too far into that conspiracy, but like 90% chance you nailed him.
Look, I don't want to sound like an a-hole, which I probably am, but I'm like, come on, man. Don't you know what? Don't call me on that. Like, everyone's taking it. I'm like, which I swore an oath to take it. Now you're not giving it to me, and then my family's giving you money for the service. Oh, come on, man.
The last funeral I went to, they did like an hour-long regular ass church service, and I was doing my best not to fume. I was like, "Hey, my uncle passed away. I don't give a shit about your God talk. Can we move on to some eulogies and shit? I don't want to hear about what God gives a fuck."
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised you were able to hear, because with all the sound system these churches have, you think, oh man, all this money they're making can invest in like a nice sound system. I said that out loud. I'm like, oh man.
I know that like service is part of the whole church thing, and I know that like if there's a funeral, they're going to do some. But I'm so not into it, and not to mention just being in a church where there's like a very well painted dead Jesus on the wall with blood coming out of his hands and feet. I'm like, this is oppressive. I am visually oppressed by this imagery, trying to make me feel things that like I don't need to feel. Why do I have to look at a dead guy in this building?
Exactly. Our great symbol for our religion is
a human corpse.
Is an execution.
Yeah, very, very, very.
Yeah, we're pro-life, but we're worshiping this execution scene.
Okay, the pro-life thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pro-life until they're born.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them a gun and
pro-fetus. Yeah, pro-fetus child. Not so much.
Sorry, Bill Hicks had so much to say on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going off on weird tangents today.
That's the problem when you bring me in. It's like really hard for me not to be like, hey, you guys want to crap on capitalism, religion, and basically everything?
Every single thing under the sun.
No, there was way too much of pedophilic scandal with the church. I definitely agree. I wouldn't say it was 90%. I almost became a priest.
Yeah.
All right.
I did go to church on my own volition after I was 18 years old for like a year and a half. There was a lot of good lessons that I learned through the people that I took part in church with. Yeah. It's just eventually the churchy stuff. I was like, I learned more from the people than the pray.
Yeah. And they lost me when they were sort of like, we have all of these rules, except we're not going to follow them. You have to follow them. Like no, don't touch kids. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a rule for everybody.
Really,
Not,
I didn't know.
It all comes down to the sacrament of confession.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right?
But that's
but the thing is, when it's reoccurring, and it's the same point where if somebody confesses to a priest of murder,
yeah, and then you go out and kill
priest
somebody
can't-
else. Yeah,
well, the priest can't turn them in.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Right?
like it's like don't do these bad things, and then they go to the indigenous people and they do that.
Yeah, but,
Like,
the whole thing, the whole premise or the predication of confession is you confess your sins, you are absolved, you repent, and then you don't do it again.
And
Yes.
the biggest
And
thing is
that part
people-
they sort of like go, oh well,
well, and a lot of
no.
people go,
I
"Oh,
cheated. I cheated on my spouse again. Like, no, stop doing that.
Wait, people think like a repentance is like, oh, I'll just say a few prayers, but like,
Yeah.
no,
Get out of jail free.
Society
Yeah.
has a repentance system.
Yes,
It's
it's-
called jail. So
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
did a crime and you committed and you
Yes.
admit it to a priest, the priest's advice should be, okay, well, you know what your repentance is? Go
Yeah.
tell the police.
Exactly. Turn
That's-
yourself in.
Yeah, if you want to pay back the Lord and do well for the rest of society, you have
Yeah.
to go to jail, my friend.
Do you
Yes.
do you think jails?
Oh, I think jail is awful.
Yeah, but is it for punishment or for rehabilitation?
It should absolutely be for rehabilitation, not the world we live in, but like
Not the
I
world we
think-
live in. Yeah.
I think it should be if you're going to lock people up in a room for 24 hours a day for months and months on end.
It
use
should be a
that
punishment. Yeah.
time- Use that time to inspire knowledge, give them therapy, teach them.
read.
Not only that, but like appraise them essentially. We have a lot of psychological teaching. So if you have a guy in jail and you're trying to like lead them down this path of repentance and rehabilitation, and they are just thoroughly okay with what they did, and you can see that this is someone who's sick and will do it again, that's where we start looking into different treatments and different ways to do things. I'm not a big fan of the jail system as it stands. There are some countries that do it well, that like actually have rehabilitation centers.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, the jail system is awful. But like for now, murderers can go there. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Murderers, pedophiles.
Yeah, there's a few people in society I'm okay with sticking them
Anti-vaxxers.
there for a while we figure out this whole prison system.
Yeah.
Native leaders in Canada also have the healing circle,
Yes.
which they use for rehabilitation.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
So
They
people tribal members, I believe, can ask to serve their time there. It's not always guaranteed, but
There are countries in Scandinavia who do rehabilitation and who do incarceration correctly, and they have very low rates of recidivism, and recidivism. I'm not saying that right. They don't get a lot of recidivists, and
return customers.
Recurrent customers, yes, and by and large, their jails are non-violent. Their jails are full of some of them. Some of the jails, you'd swear, like you look at it, Americans would go, "That's not a jail. That's like essentially that's a little compound with the dorms, and they don't even there's nothing's locked up. They sort of like are free to roam and stuff like that. Some of them even go to the jail, and then go to a work site and then come back to the jail. It's like, how would that work in the States? No,
no. In the States, like, oh well, you're colored. Oh goddamn, we're gonna have a hell of a time. Oh, you're white.
No, wait, how much? You're white. How much money you got?
No,
exactly.
No, oh no. Even
country
better,
club
even
jail.
Yeah, even better. Like on if you're watching news and if it's a colored person, like, wow, this person's violent. But if it's a white person, like, Well, listen,
Oh,
this
such a
person may have shut
troubled
up.
young man.
Yeah, he was a
troubled young man.
man.
Whereas the other guy's a thug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who walked into the church with a weapon, that's the troubled
That
child.
is that.
The
Yeah.
guy
Listen,
who stole a burger out of McDonald's while he was hungry. That's the thug. Okay, I'm supposed
Yeah.
to understand this dichotomy.
you're
Got it.
supposed to understand the realist of America. You're supposed to understand that violence is. Oh my god, I'm trying to sound like what's his name?
American incarceration has been turned into a business, for Christ's sake.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like their hospital system. They're businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
And what's the point of a business? It's to make profits. So
Yeah.
of course you want to incarcerate as many people as you can so you can make the maximum profits.
And
Now,
then
next
if you jail mostly like people of color, minorities, you just get
Yep.
slavery 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
They never got rid of slavery.
the,
they
AJ,
just
the-
moved the facilities.
Yep.
AJ, the proper word for this are the illegal immigrants
No.
and the anti-vaxxers. Actually, you want to know something? On Dirty Floor, we're talking, right? It's like that. And I said as a joke, I'm like, like these anti-vaxxers, they should have like a anti-vax tax. And then 2 days later, Legault I'm like, shit. But I said,
Hey, Legault watches your podcast.
but I said that as a joke. I'm like, the anti-vax should be taxed, like these illegals. And I don't want to.
See, that's the problem. Is that like, first of all, I think taking money from people that are substantially underpaid, like all of humanity, not really fair. Even though I do understand that like not choosing to not get vaccinated is a bad thing. But like taking it out of people's pockets, it's like, wow. So you're just like a really big fan of punching down on like people that are in bad situations.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Even the
That's-
people
Yeah.
who are conned into like being anti-vax, the ones who really are like through the head sucked through the pipeline, like those people, like they need help. They don't need to be.
No, they don't need to be
Hacked.
punished. Yeah.
I also think it's a very dangerous thing to say that a person's personal decision can get them opted out of like portions of Canadian healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
It's like if you
I
smoke,
don't-
you can't get cancer treatment. You
No,
know.
that's no.
That's-
I don't think that if you've even if you've like if you go out and you participate in dangerous sports and you get injured, you shouldn't be refused treatment because you engaged in something dangerous. So yeah, I'm not happy that the anti-vaxxers are by and large the ones taxing the healthcare system, but I wouldn't
Tax them back.
yeah, I wouldn't disallow them from getting it.
No,
I
No,
was
Mike.
wondering something like, what's your guys' opinion on this? I kind of don't know where I stand, but like I heard that there was a guy recently who like was on a waiting list for a heart transplant.
Yes,
And then he refused the COVID vaccine, and they were like, well, you have to follow this list to get like these transplants are not easy. If you
Yeah.
touch alcohol waiting for a liver transplant,
you're done. You're done. Yeah, you're off the list. Yeah,
So
or
what do you-
kidneys or that. Yeah,
like I don't necessarily disagree with like if you're not going to follow the rules to a transplant, an
Exactly.
extremely important
yes.
list of things that has to be followed. You're going to be medicated for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah,
by this
absolutely.
Yeah.
The same thing.
So
the same thing.
I find that that's a tricky situation where someone's like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting COVID. You can crack my chest open and remove my heart, but I don't want a COVID vaccine. And they're like, well, unfortunately, we can't do that. And I do kind of agree with that because transplants are really, really intense.
Oh, they are.
They're really
Yeah.
intense, and they're also like the amount of organs available for transplant is so limited
Yeah.
that you're in the line for getting a really expensive and complicated procedure with that it involves a lot of just rare commodities, and you're not willing to take precautions that we're asking you to do.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paul? Like, I just wanted to hear your ideas on it.
No, that list is there for a reason. So
Yeah.
no, it's,
By the way,
in that case, no, I'm
It's the
I don't
one
know,
thing where I'm like, that's a different situation.
and that's part of the process. I thought we were getting a Gregorian chant in there. For
Yeah,
a
I
while.
know.
My entire building is doing renovations. They don't have any schedule for it. They just start it whenever they want, any day of the week. They've done it on Saturdays, Sundays. Who cares?
Okay.
Okay.
So we have.
do-
So you're getting your own background music. Except
Yeah,
it's not
actually-
so melodious.
Yeah, it's a little bit of. Don't no. You mute it yourself. You can't. We can't hear you.
Well, I was gonna say I can when I'm not talking I can mute.
Yeah,
Nah, don't worry
don't
about
do
it.
that.
No,
We
No,
want
but-
to hear the guffaws, etc.
but
We
yeah,
want to
no,
hear that face slap when you get shocked by what's said.
Yeah.
All right. This is something that I think is kind of cool that Australia does.
Yes.
You get a discount on your annual income tax if you vote.
Yes.
Nice. That is a really, really good idea.
That is a really
And
good
they I think they also like Canada, they also, you don't have to go and register to vote. You are a citizen, you turn 18, you get to vote.
Yeah.
So it's like you're automatic, and especially like
You're expected to vote.
you're registered by your income tax. You're automatically registered to vote. So you don't have to go and do leaps and bounds and jump through hoops to get on a list so you can vote. So you can actually exercise the right you have to vote. So yeah, I applaud that. Yeah.
They also have multiple parties.
Yeah.
And they have 2 houses, and one of those houses is proportional representation.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
no
Wow.
wonder
they're so
America's
progressive.
always like, isn't Australia weird? Nobody go to Australia. Never Google anything in Australia. Like anytime an American brings up Australia, like what a dump. Don't look at anything in Australia. You're like, oh, representational
Yes, but
government.
you know
Yeah,
what?
that would be bad.
But I think Australians though have an ace in the hole, because Australians have learned to live in Australia, whereas anybody who goes to Australia probably will be killed by the country itself and all of its denizens, its animals, its venomous creatures, its sharks. Australia, the actual land of Australia has so many ways to kill you.
I had a friend who lived in like real rural Australia, just real farmland, and they like took a picture of like a dragonfly and was like, "Isn't this cool?" And I'm over exaggerating to a degree, but it was it was on a bike tire and pretty close to the size of a bike tire. I was like, "That's horrifying," and she's like, "Oh, it's so cute," and I'm like, "I guess if you're used to them being that big."
My mother used to call, this is the old term for them, dragonflies as devil's dart needles.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The political parties in Australia, let's see. Okay, federal parliamentary parties, non-parliamentary parties. Holy crap! They all right. So the parliamentary parties, which would be the big ones,
Yes.
they have 10 different political parties.
Damn.
And so they really have to kind of form coalitions. Now, the proportional representation in the non-parliamentary, I don't know, that looks like about 20 different parties.
Oh,
But
wow.
some of these are protest groups,
Right.
right? So the Shooters, Fathers, and Farmers Party.
Oh my God, that is an awesome
But-
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the No 5G Party.
Oh, I remember when we were all really scared of 5G.
Yes,
Oh
I know.
my
Now
God,
there's 6G coming. So, oh my God.
I wonder
Yeah.
what
my God.
diseases will come out of that tower.
I mean,
Yes.
like
yes.
in Canada, we've got the Rhino Party.
Yes. But they've run candidates, I think, in almost every election, but it's like they don't even get like 0.001% of the vote. So there's no way that they would get representation. It's just they're just too marginal.
Now, how the proportional representation works is they take a look at what percentage of the total population voted for which party. Yeah. And there's 100 seats, so one full percentage point would get your party a seat. Yeah. In that house.
Right.
And so even the fringe elements, can be represented if there's enough votes
Yes, but then you wind up with a parliament that's much like that of Italy and I hate to say it, Israel, where the some of the Looney Tune extremes, the extremes of any political position you can imagine, they inhabit those things and they get seats. So it's like, yeah.
You know what?
And sometimes
The thing
they
is, they
sometimes
become the minority.
yeah, they also sometimes, because of weird coalitions, they get to be the swing votes.
The
Yeah.
weirder,
you
the
know.
racist and weirder the parties are, the higher chance people are gonna elect them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I think the multiple options in Australia makes a huge difference.
Yeah, the Canadians, like, ostensibly we have like technically 4 options. We have like Liberal, Conservative, NDP,
and really whack jobs.
I was gonna say the 4th one is Green, but I guess like PQ and Green are now like neck and neck, killing each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a few options, but the problem is that just like any other governments in specifically like the West area, we only have 2-party system. We don't care about those other parties.
The other parties
I'm glad to see the NDP scaling. It's good to see them getting more votes every year. I've changed to an NDP voter in the last like 5 years, so like I'm definitely excited to see it grow. But yeah, it's a 2-party system.
I changed from Liberal to Bloc Québécois, and I can tell you that my decision is the best decision I can.
I appreciate you standing on my throat, Claudio. Thank you.
Oh my God!
No problem. No, but you know what? No, we should invent our own party, the anti-vax party.
Well, I'm
it's coming.
I'm reminded of a Monty Python election night special episode that they did, where they talked about some of the fringe parties in Britain, and there was one called I kid you not, the Raving Loony Party, and I would have voted for those fuckers.
There was you know what? Speaking of, I'm not sure if this was in the Black Adler or if this was Monty Python, but there was a party. They made a spoof about a party, which just called themselves the party. And then they were just sitting around. John Cleese's like, yeah, we should vote for this. And someone's like, what's this? This. No. But what does this do? It does this. What is this going to change? It's going to change this. And then like, yeah, this. But what about that? No. That's not good. This is good.
You don't want to touch that.
Yeah, I forgot because I saw it on YouTube. I forgot where it was. It was not in the Monty Python film.
It might have been
it was
Black
just a
Adder.
special,
Yeah, because that was I love that. You know what? It reminds me of whenever I would run because I was considered going into politics a long time ago. I wanted to call it that parti that, and then I'd be we're gonna change that. Everyone's gonna be confused like that side, and then in plot twist, we just charge the bicycle.
And in the election special Monty Python skit, the 2 main parties were the sensible party and the silly party, and then they had the extremely silly party whose candidate was the 2 legs sticking out of a block of cement.
Yeah. or in South Park, they were the world leaders in Canada was there, and Canada's like, we need more money, and people are like, what? More money? More money? Get us money. And then I forgot which representative said this. Goes, where do you want us to get this money from? I don't know. Just like more money, online stuff. There's more money. I'm like, that is sad but true.
Yeah.
Very Canadian.
All right, if we want to see good political as well as religious satire, there's no better film than The Life of Brian.
Oh, The Life of Brian.
Actually,
you know what?
Wag the Dog is pretty good as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wag the Dog is also
And
very good.
Dave. Damn it,
You know
there's a
what?
lot of good.
I couldn't get into Life of Brian. I don't know why.
Life of Brian is admittedly like for me the weakest Monty Python film, but that's like that's such a high tier. It's like okay,
Yes.
like the weakest of the best satire.
The best satire.
Yeah.
Was that when the Roman soldiers?
Yes,
were,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
After that, I'm
Dickus
like, I
Maximus.
can't. Yeah. I just love the extras that were like,
So, biggest dickest. What's so funny about biggest dickest?
Yeah,
Can you
all
see-
the extras in that scene didn't know that scene was going to go on like that, and they're just
I
all
know.
standing there
Oh my
trying
God.
their
I
hardest
wish-
not to die.
I wish I was an extra in that. So
Yeah.
just for the soldiers going.
He has a wife, biggest dickest. You know what her name is? Incontinentia.
One of the most popular turn-based 4X games is Civilization,
Uh-huh.
and unlocking one of the government tiers in that game,
Is-
they actually quote Monty Python. With what have the Romans ever done
Done
for
for
us
us?
other than
Yes.
The roads, the sewer
The
systems,
sewers, the wine,
fresh water.
Yes,
Yeah.
peace, maintaining order.
Well, there's no shit on the streets anymore.
There was.
I remember what it was like before.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you brought that up, but I remember like the first year when COVID really hit and it was a lockdown, and there's this. I don't know on Facebook if y'all see like there's this monkey doll who always has this smear face like that, right? So
Oh, yeah.
so there's like in Germany, so that face is like history repeats itself. Yeah, because history repeats itself. The Germans used to burn people, and now they're burning dead COVID people. And he goes, history is repeating, and you see that smug is like, Germans are burning people. No one says anything. I'm like, that is hilarious. Sad. That is hilariously sad. Yes,
That's
sad.
pathetic. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it
pretty
is. I'm like, oh man, it can't be worse than these truckers who aren't anti-vaxxers.
Well, I was gonna sort of call it, but
Yes.
then that note dropped.
bad. Yeah. Oh my.
We should go there. We should go there and be the pro-vaxxers. But yeah, you know what? And then honk and then be like, hey, for $5, I could tell you how to end all this. And then
Let's just
and
we'll
then-
show up with vaccines and we'll be like, this is anti-vaccine vaccine. You get this injected, you'll never need a vaccine again. It's super,
Exactly.
It's
This is
super
the Uber.
anti-vax juice.
This is the Uber vaccine, and
Yeah.
it's not German. It's not German. It's just called Uber.
yeah,
It's just the Ubavax.
but sir, but you sound German. I am not German. This is good.
Can you make a dart gun?
I'm
easy?
not German. I'm Austrian. So was Hitler.
I know you can make a dart gun anti-vax. You could like you go on stage and someone's doing a joke. Someone's like, I'm not a vaxxer. And then
Yeah, they shouldn't be
Yeah.
in the venue.
No,
Yeah,
they
that's
shouldn't be in the venue at all.
they should be in prison. Actually, no, I'm not gonna.
I
say
saw,
that.
I saw someone try to equate
Yeah,
Claudio's
then what
going
they
off
get
the
ejected
rails
with.
here. We better wrap this up. Claudio's really going off the rails.
So we all wish we lived in
Yes.
Australia, except
Yes.
for the
Yeah,
animals.
yeah.
Except for the animals.
Don't worry. You know
a
what?
kangaroo will fist fight you.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Don't care.
That's right.
Yes.
And it kicks when it fist fights.
And
It
it,
cheats.
yes.
There's a
Yes.
I don't know if y'all
Yes.
know Jess Sorrell. So shout out
Yes.
to Jess Sorrell.
Yes.
She was telling
Yes.
me
Yeah.
she said
Yeah.
she goes, she goes, I'm having picnic with my family, but the family next to me, they're like the dad or the boyfriend or whatever, he's fighting a kangaroo, and everyone's just around and just watching. Like, and then the guy's getting ready. The kangaroo's go, and the kangaroo's like getting ready to its posture.
Yeah.
But then the father hits the kangaroo in the face, and the kangaroo just like spun, spun around, hit him with the tail. I'm like, oh my God! You know what? If I was in Australia, I'd definitely become a boxer because
Because you have to defend yourself against that.
Yes.
exactly.
One of my older brothers, like we shared a bedroom when I was a kid. He came home one night, woke me up, said, Paul, I want to be a boxer. The next morning, I get out of bed, my feet hit the floor, and with a good thump, and I hear, "Oh, give me some orange juice." I get a glass of orange juice. I come in, and I see my brother's eyes sealed shut.
Oh my lord.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So he wasn't a good boxer.
Yeah, I was gonna say not great at it.
Listen,
Got into a bar fight.
listen. The only way you can become a good boxer is if you go to Australia and box a kangaroo. If you can knock it out, then you're good.
There is that video online about the kangaroo getting this guy's dog in a headlock.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
and
that's what
and ripping him up because they got claws.
Oh,
And
man.
When they
dog
kick,
is-
they could actually disembowel you.
Yes.
Yeah, they're- it's-
Yeah,
yeah,
not-
but-
them and there's also is it in Australia they have cassowaries.
Oh my god.
And
I think
cassowaries
so.
have this claw. It's like a velociraptor. They have this
Yeah.
claw, and there was a guy in Florida who had a cassowary, and the cassowary essentially disemboweled him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, holy fuck.
cassowaries are
Yeah.
basically the closest to a velociraptor
Yeah.
evolution we have.
Yeah.
They are deadly to
Yeah.
people.
Meanwhile, last summer I was at a farm and I got chased by a rooster.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Slightly
true
less
story.
deadly. Slightly less deadly.
No, man.
Yes,
No,
deadly.
no.
I was
Slightly
4 or 5 years
smaller
old
as
when I
well.
was chased by a gaggle of geese.
Hey.
I think
Canada
that's why my
geese.
ear is this size, just
Yeah.
because they got a
Geese-
hold of that sucker.
Canada geese? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
No,
AC
it's,
Valley-
it was my uncle's farm.
Oh, Uncle
I was
farm
gonna
geese. Okay.
say, Claudio, don't trigger the flight or fight response on a flightless bird.
No.
We have one response.
No.
Yeah.
AC
Yeah, you don't want to
Valiente-
piss off. You don't want to
Yeah.
piss off an ostrich, an emu. No.
No,
No,
AC
they don't fly,
Valiente-
they fight.
Yeah, AC Valiente got into an argument with a duck. Last summer, because we're just sitting at a park near our place, and there's these ducks that come around, and there's even a geese, and this comes up and this goes, it says, it goes quack, and Alex like shut up, and the duck just quacked back. And I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
I'm wondering who won.
I think
Because
it was a
AC's
mutual-
a nice guy, and
He might have just been like, all right, Duck, I get it. He might have just backed off. AC
Yeah.
might have just let him have it.
Nah.
I can see where you're coming from, Duck. Quack quack.
all right, we've been over an hour here. I've my spirits have been raised.
Yes.
Feel better, yeah.
I'm feeling better. I hope
Yeah.
people watching are feeling better.
Yes.
Remember, say no to the anti-vaxxers.
Yes, especially to sex.
Yes.
with
Say yes to
anti-vaxxers.
no. Say no
I
to
think
yes.
Remember, vote for me is a vote to get anti-vaxxers vaxxed.
And meanwhile, AJ's got like whale noises emanating from his apartment.
The sounds of the ocean.
Yes, I think that's a humpback. You have a humpback in your hallway.
It's
All
definitely
right,
having an
stop
effect
humping
on
that
my back. That's for sure.
Oh
This
my
has
god.
been the check-in.
Yes. This has been the check-in.
Mike Gamache above me. If you want to see more or know more about Mike, he's on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's his only social media. Claudio Capri is on Instagram as Claudio. Claudio. Did I say Claudio or
Claudio.
Claudio
Ah,
Capri
doesn't-
Comedy. AJ Young Comic on Instagram for AJ, and everything for me is on Linktree, Paul Ash. And I got to mention, Monday, it is going to be Battlecom. Look at that lineup.
That's actually for anyone who's looking at this and doesn't know what that is. That's an incredible lineup.
That's an awesome lineup. It is.
And that's going to be Battlecom on Monday, and that's going to be on YouTube and Facebook. If you are watching on, you can use the link tree to find the Battlecom YouTube. But if you are watching this on YouTube, you'll go to the main channel and you'll see a link to the Battlecom one, and go and subscribe. We're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 100, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. We're actually okay. This is a little preview. One of the things that we're going to actually talk about is who's the best Chris, because there's been that big argument in the Marvel universe, but we're taking it for all the universe. Who's the best Chris
In the universe. Okay.
Yep.